hair's getting long. I feel like Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. Happy New Year! It's 2018 and I'm here to break down 20 of the movies that are on my radar. This video is part 1, so I'll be only going through the first 10 on my list. And it goes through the beginning to the halfway point of the year, so like January to June-ish. So let's start. So the first movie that's on my list is Maze Runner: The Death Cure. Now, I thought the Maze Runner movies were okay. They were entertaining. They didn't have the deepest of plots, but they were fine for the most part. And I'm curious to see where it all goes. First trailer we got was interesting. Infiltrating Wicked, trying to find if there is a cure to whatever is going on in the world. So at the end of the Scorch trials, Minnow was captured. And the girl, I forget her name, but the main female lead, she goes with Wicked. From what the trailers told us, she thinks she's doing the right thing, but Thomas and all of them are fighting back and, trying to make things right. So I want to see if they rescue Minnow. I want to see where the story goes. I want to see how it ends. And I have to give respect and props to the director because he said he didn't want to split it into 2 parts. Like Harry Potter or Hunger Games. Gotta give him props for that. So the Maze Runner: The Death Cure is coming out January 26th. The next movie on my list is Black Panther. Marvel movie. Excited for that, but I'm more excited for this cast. You have Chadwick Boseman, Danny Gurira, Lupita Nyong'o, the guy from Get Out, sorry I'm forgetting his name right now, Forrest Whitaker, Martin Freeman coming back as Everett Ross, and of course you have Andy Serkis coming in as Ulysses Claw. He's not doing a motion capture role, he's actually doing a live action role, so that's exciting. This movie just looks pretty hype. Looks so exciting. I know maybe some are fatigued by the whole Marvel movie production line, essentially, but I think this is going to be a fresh take on the Marvel universe we've seen so far. It's set in Wakanda, this technologically advanced city, so that'll be cool to see. But it'll also be interesting if we can clear up where the last Infinity Stone is. A lot of people think that it's in Wakanda, and that makes sense because this movie is the one Marvel movie right before Infinity War. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. I'm excited, and I'm excited that we have a stellar cast. So Black Panther comes out on February 16th. And if I'm not mistaken, isn't that Black History Month? So the next movie on my list is a movie called Annihilation, that's starring Natalie Portman, and that's coming out February 23rd. I'm interested to see this movie because of Alex Garland. He's directing, if I'm not mistaken, and he had a hand in movies like Dread, Ex Machina, I think. Just the way he writes sci-fi and the way he builds the world, it's very interesting, so I want to see what's going to happen with that. I haven't seen Natalie Portman in a lot of things lately, so it'll be a nice return for her as well. The fourth movie I'm interested in seeing in 2018 is Tomb Raider. Yes, I know, you're already thinking, it's a video game movie, how good is it really gonna be? From what we've seen so far, I feel like it's taking a lot of cues from the video game reboot we had of Tomb Raider. We have Alicia Vikander in the main role as Lara Croft, and if you don't know who that is, I think she's most well known from the movie Ex Machina. She was the robot learning through interactions with Domhnall Gleeson's character in that movie. This movie looks pretty cool. It comes out March 16th. Hopefully it'll break the stereotype of how video game movies are all bad, but just looking at the movie, looking at this shot looks familiar. Oh, that's why. So hopefully that movie turns out okay. It looks like they're gonna be a lot more visceral with their action, a lot more grounded, I guess, like how the reboot for the video game was, so excited for that. Next up, we have Pacific Rim Uprising. I'm a fan of the original Pacific Rim. I really liked what Guillermo del Toro did with that movie. How the robots had weight, and all the fights were pretty interesting. Seeing those robots fight, alien monsters, come on. I know it may be just like a eye candy type of movie, but hey, it was entertaining, right? And if you've seen trailers for Uprising, it's gonna be a totally different feel. So if you're down for that, Jaeger's moving faster, maybe Jaeger's fighting other Jaegers, John Boyega. It'll be just a fun time. It's set 10 years after the original, so some time has passed. Jaegers are now more developed. Hopefully it gets past the whole, 2-pilot system. It looks pretty promising. John Boyega does not disappoint. He's a fun guy. And it's interesting that he's playing the son of Idris Elba's character from the first movie. Looks like a lot of fun. A lot of Jaegers fighting in the daytime. Who doesn't want that, right? That movie comes out March 23rd. Next, at number 6 is Ready Player One. I have the book. I'm wondering if I should read it first before I watch the movie, but it's a movie that has a lot of references to a lot of other things. It showed up in the trailers, a lot of Easter eggs. There's a little Easter egg that people are trying to find in the movie. It'll be a fun time. Video game characters, anime characters. They had a freaking Gundam in the trailer. So that'll be fun to see. And, gotta love some Iron Giant in there. I'm ashamed to say I haven't seen Iron Giant. Please don't hate me. But yeah, Ready Player One should be visually stunning and very creative from the mind of Steven Spielberg. Now, we have one of the more interesting and fascinating movies on this list, The New Mutants. I want to see what they do with this. It's a very different feel. If you're not familiar with The New Mutants, it's a new group of mutants. New Mutants. From what I've seen, I'm interested because this cast is pretty cool. Now, the mutant lineup they have is also very interesting because it's not the norm. You don't have the staples like Cyclops, Jean, Nightcrawler, Storm. You don't have the main lineup, right? So you have these kind of outliers who are, I guess, stuck in this asylum and they're trying to get out. And I'm assuming they're also struggling with their powers. You have one person who turns into a werewolf. You have a human cannonball. You have someone who can teleport but has to teleport through, a different dimension. It's going to be, I'm hoping, mind-boggling powers. And I hope these powers are shown on screen in very, very flashy way. So I want to see some powers let loose. Hopefully that'll be good. New Mutants comes out on April 13th. Now, here's the big one. Avengers Infinity War. Slated to come out on May 4th. Very interesting date choice, but they're owned by Disney now, so it doesn't matter if they clash with Star Wars Day. It's interesting how Disney is giving Marvel Studios that date for their big Avengers movie. From what we've seen so far in artwork and in trailers, this is gonna be an epic movie. You have forces clashing against each other in a huge war, Infinity War. It would be pretty cool to see all the characters that we've seen in previous movies come together in such a great mashup, and to see Thanos finally letting loose with his power. Now the real question is, how many Infinity Stones is he going to get by the end of this movie? In the trailer we see he already has 2. And the directors have kind of said that this movie will be kind of like a heist movie. I'm assuming for Thanos and his 4 followers. It'll probably be Thanos getting the Infinity Stones for the Infinity Gauntlet, and then we'll see where it goes from there. People are assuming that some characters will die, maybe in this one or the next movie, but there should be some consequences in the MCU. I don't want any more, fluff where people don't die or people don't suffer consequences. Infinity War is coming out on May the 4th. So may the 4th be with Infinity War. Speaking of Star Wars Day, next movie I have on my list at number 9 is Solo, a Star Wars story. This is on my radar, but I have to be clear that I don't know if I'm actually going to see this movie because, for one thing, I'm not really a big fan of how they're making all these spin-off movies. And to be completely honest, I don't know if putting one Star Wars movie a year will be, good for fans and viewers alike, because we might get fatigued. It'll be nice to have some time in between Star Wars movies, so it's a major event. That being said, I do want to see an Obi-Wan Kenobi Star Wars story movie. Now, if you didn't know, this movie did go through some production troubles. Originally, it was supposed to be directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller of Lego Movie fame, I think, and 21 Jump Street. But I guess their approach to making the movie didn't jive with Lucasfilm and the other execs. It's a shame because I want to see how they would inject their creativity into the Han Solo movie. Now, this was the best picture of the cast that I can find. Sorry I don't know the names. I should have looked it up beforehand. You see young Han, and you'll see young Lando Calrissian, you see Chewie, and then Woody Harrelson. It's just too bad that Phil Lord and Chris Miller didn't really get to complete their movie, and we're just basically cut from production, and so we're getting Ron Howard. I don't dislike Ron Howard, but at the same time, I feel like the execs at Disney and Lucasfilm were just trying to get the safest choice. I understand what they're doing. They don't want their production to be a flop or anything. They want, a solid movie. Maybe not the best at this point, but just someone who can finish it with professionalism and doing the best that he can with what he's given. So we'll see how that goes. Solo, a Star Wars story, comes out on May 25th. And the 10th movie on my list, and the one I'm kind of excited for as well, for various reasons, is Deadpool 2. This is coming out on June 1st. right at the beginning of the month. And I'm excited to see this movie because, first of all, they're giving us Cable. If this is how they're going to give us Cable in the movie universe, I'm fine, I guess. Josh Brolin playing Cable. He looks pretty good. One has to wonder if he'll ever be incorporated into the main X-Men movies moving forward. Deadpool as well. But, seeing Cable on screen will be pretty cool, even if it is within the context of this comedic action movie. But seeing the first look at Josh Brolin as Cable was pretty cool. Who knew we'd get a Cable in a Deadpool movie? And we get returning characters like Negasonic Teenage Warhead. She has a new hairdo, and obviously she still has her attitude, and I like that. Hopefully she'll get some more lines and, powers being let loose. And we also have Domino, and a lot of people, maybe not a lot of people, but I think a few people are upset with how they changed up the casting for it, I guess. It's not a Caucasian actress, but an actress of color. And I don't mind it. Let them do what they want so they can make a better movie. Deadpool, the first movie, was a nice surprise. It was an R-rated, comic book adaptation. Now, I didn't think that it needed to be that over the top with their crass humor, raunchy humor, but I did get why they had to do R because, Deadpool is a character who is pretty violent and also gets a lot of damage done to him. I'm interested to see where Deadpool 2 goes, what they're doing with the story. Overall, it'll just be a good, raunchy, R-rated, good time. So these are the first 10 of 20 movies that are on my radar for 2018. Part 2 of this series will come up soon, where I go through movies 11 through 20 through to the end of the year of 2018. And I just gotta say that Part 2 will have more exciting movies than Part 1. So what movies are you guys excited for in 2018? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the things I talk about, give me a like, maybe even subscribe. And we'll keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in Part 2.